More casual than that, but hey!
Welcome, everybody, to the Hot Dish Podcast, where it's got a little bit of everything. It's always good.
Woo! Today it's got coffee and sugar cookies.
Yeah.
A lot of coffee.
Hey.
You just gonna munch on that the entire time?
Yeah. Is that a problem? We ate like how many podcasts ago?
2.
Yeah.
3 now.
We just ate McDonald's the entire time. And we're
I thought you were talking about today. And I was like,
No.
you just had the...
No, the last time you and I recorded a podcast, we ate McDonald's.
But we weren't like...
I'm not gonna do that into the mic.
Just aside. God, I think this is mine.
He's been just picky, just
mine.
picky. Get your bottle out of the picture. It's too big. Blah 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 blah.
You were the one with the bad attitude this morning, Brandon.
I was tired.
You're rubbing it off. Now I have the bad attitude.
Well, maybe drink some coffee.
No, I don't want any coffee. I'm Brandon.
I drink coffee. I'm drinking coffee right now. I'm more awake than I was for the live one.
Yeah.
Well then, how are you guys?
Pretty good.
Goodness.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty good.
You guys are now you're live doing this shit like that. Last time I was just like, yeah.
We're doing great,
Yeah,
actually.
dude. Yeah, I just needed a quick little break, you know? I was getting real hot in the last one.
It was hot. I apologize.
And I was put in the hot seat.
I
So-
I thought I could try to like cool down the entire place, but my AC unit being 3 rooms over is not the greatest.
Yeah, well, I don't know. The thing too, like I've been watching a lot of podcasts recently. Some of the big ones that I watch, I'll give a little plug, you know, with the 5 family viewers that we have, but our dedicated viewers. I listen to like the Super Mega podcast, Super Mega Cast, I think they call it, the H3 podcast. I listen to once in a while. That one's usually pretty good. Really, I gotta say though, only when they have guests. A lot of times when it's just a couple of them, they get really like the jokes get really drug out.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and he talks over every single video that plays, and I'm like, come on, dude. But that's his format, though. So I mean,
Well, once again, they're getting paid to do this. We're doing it on our free time in my spare bedroom.
right. No, but I'm just saying. Like my point was like, I like on Super Mega Cast one I recently listened to. He was like, you know, we do this because we like it, and like if we put out good content, like people are gonna like it even if there's a little fan in the background. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So like it's. I don't know that, you know, like with them, they have like a smaller fan base, but they still do like tours all the time, and like their whole living is based off of that podcast and like their playthroughs of video games. But it's just interesting because like they take a different stance, and like a lot of broadcasters like pander to like their audience, like just like I'm gonna do this because my audience likes it, and that's it. But then like they burn out, and then they start to do stupid stuff like go to the suicide forest and film dead bodies and.
Okay, Logan
Like
Paul.
Jake Paul, yeah.
Are you
Logan
saying
Paul.
that's not a good idea? Come on now.
No, but
you know the views it's gonna give me though.
That's true. You did get a lot of views and attention.
And attention.
Not the right
It's just
kind.
terrible.
Yeah. But their whole thing is like, you know, just put out something you like, you know. I mean, like, if once in a while there's a little white noise in the background.
Yeah, you start
well.
you start off this way too. Like
Yeah.
I know, like I watched the Rooster Teeth podcast, and then when they started back in 2008 with that podcast, and there was just 3-4 of them. The guy had the soundboard on front of them. They all wore headphones. It was just audio. We didn't even do video.
Yeah.
And they just like changed it as he was going, stuff like that. And now they're to the point where they have their own broadcast room where they're sitting away from you. They're in a small room with a bunch of monitors and 8 guys in that room, making sure everything's running right.
Yep.
But you know, stuff to look forward to.
So like the H3 podcast is that way too. It's like they have like their podcast room with like a big sign behind them and like soundproofing and all that. Nice table with a TV and some laptops. But then like in the room over is like the editing room, and it's just like a guy with like a I think his name's Dan. He's got like he talks a lot on the podcast too, but like he's just in like a empty room with like editing and like software equipment and stuff.
Yeah, I have planned for if and when I get a house to actually have a actual board and not a green screen.
Mm-hmm.
Just build the whole thing myself. It wouldn't be that hard to do it taxing. Like it could even just be a blank wall, and we put posters on it and stuff like that.
Because Renee and I had talked about doing something like that for like our spare bedroom and stuff, if we ever wanted to like start like making videos there, because like there's ways to do it where you don't wreck your walls. So like I was thinking just get some like plywood and then build the wall on the plywood, and then I can just screw the plywood boards to the wall. So then it looks like it's the wall, but I can take it down and the wall's not wrecked behind it.
I had a plan for that too, but just time and like having a vehicle to haul it all. My vehicle's not big enough to do it all at the moment.
I have to get a new car.
Yeah, I am currently. I called I'm super excited because I called my insurance person. He's like, for you to get a vehicle that's full coverage, it'd be $115 a month. It's like, oh, yes.
That's not bad. Oh, like insurance-wise.
Insurance-wise.
Okay.
And then payments, I don't even know.
It depends what you get. But
wait, you would only pay $115 a month
for insurance?
Yeah, insurance is cheap in St. Cloud.
Wow.
Which is weird because like there's way more accidents here and bad drivers than anywhere else I've ever been.
Because I've got one speeding ticket in my life, and my insurance is like on my vehicle would be like $700.
Yeah.
Because I have one ticket.
So it was actually
like that, and I have one ticket, one speeding ticket, and I'm just that age. It's very
weird.
like.
Yeah, so with mine, it is I had a ticket in 2015. I had an accident in 2017. Oh no, excuse me. 2017 or 2016 I had an accident. Excuse me. But that drops off after 3 years. That's when it leaves your record.
Yeah, I had a ticket at 18, and it's still like haunting me.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the ticket, but also too that I'm early 20.
Yeah, he was super
male.
surprised too. He's like, if we send them to your parents' name, it'd be like $70 a month, but you want full coverage, it's gonna be holy crap. He said holy shit, it's 115.
Oh.
He's like, he's making way higher than that. I was like, okay, fine by me.
Yeah. I mean,
I know because when they had the insurance under my dad's name, $300, half the price of what I would have had to pay. I'm like,
because I think when it's $300, I think it might be every 6 months. That's what that might be a bill. I think that's what Alyssa pays. They charge every.
Yeah, but still, it's like. I don't know.
So I have an accident on my record, and that my insurance is $135 full coverage. So, and I turned.
I guess I don't
this
know
year.
what it is separated out. Maybe that was a lump sum 6 months pay.
Yeah, because my 6 months is like $650 or something like that. But like per month is only like $135. But did I ever tell you guys about my accident? Did I think it was 2016. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, but I was in school and everything. I don't think you were in yet though.
2016? No.
Yeah. So yeah, because I was in college, and this one kid named Brennan that I was with, he was also in our program. I don't know if you ever met him.
Nope.
But he had a car that was in the shop, and I was bringing him from the college to the car shop. And we were turning left at a light right before the dealership where he was getting his car fixed. And there was so at this intersection, there's 2 left turn lanes.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And we were in the far left turn lane, and in the right left turn lane.
Yep.
The
closest, or
the center left turn lane. Mm-hmm. There was a semi and like a couple trucks, and then in the far left turn lane was me, and then one person in front of me was in like a I think it was a Volkswagen.
Okay.
So like similar car size to mine, and we were going, and the lady in front of me had stopped, and I didn't have music on or anything. I didn't have like a distraction going on. I just happened to look over my shoulder because there was a red truck behind the semi that like caught the corner of my vision, and I feel like it's instinct when you're driving to like kind of like glance.
Oh yeah, just in case it's something.
Yeah, just because it's just being cautious, and so like I just glanced over my shoulder really quick, and when I looked back, Brennan was sitting in the passenger seat, and he was like, "Oh my God, stop!" And so like it was too late, and I rear-ended the girl in front of me, but I mean, the light had just turned green, so like we were going like 10 miles an hour, maybe.
Yeah, it was nothing.
So it was just mostly just like a boop,
boom. Yeah,
and it was just like, oh, she felt that, we better pull over. So then we pulled over, and
So wait, was she in the right to have stopped, or was she just like?
She stopped because she kind of got freaked out by the semi.
Taking right. Yeah.
So she thought, because like, but you don't have to watch out for a semi on a left turn, unless they're like driving stupid. But like, it's
unless
only
they
right
got
turns.
into your lane, yeah.
It's right turns because it drags the. I don't know. But anyway,
they have to take a wider turn to go right.
Yeah.
Whereas left, they can actually branch out already.
Yeah. So So she stopped, and I guess she didn't really need to, but she did just to feel safe. And so it was just an accident.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all it was. No one was really at fault. It was just
poor
an accident.
timing on everybody's part. Yeah.
So we pulled over into a parking lot nearby, and she had like some like paint scratches on her bumper. That was about it. I looked under and everything, and there was no under damage or anything like that. I mean, just as I expected. You know, my license plate hit the bottom of her bumper and just scratched it is all. Well, I couldn't find my insurance card in my car.
Oh, no.
And so she was like, well, I have to call the police then. And I was like, fair. Like, I mean, what else are you going to do? You know, I didn't blame her for anything throughout this whole process. She was pleasant. She didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
And, but the cop came, and of course, as soon as the cop came, I was like, okay, there's one last place I can check. And I don't know why, but my insurance card had somehow gotten in, like, the back of my car under my seat.
Nice.
So, like, I don't know if something, like, if I had it on my center console and, like, lifted it and didn't realize it or something at one point. But, so I found it when he got there. And on this day, it was, like, February, like, early February. It was, like, negative 30 degrees and windy. And so this cop that shows up is just pissed. Because he's like, this is the tiniest accident. Why do I have to be here? Even though legally you are supposed to call the cops anytime there's an accident.
Anytime, yeah.
So, like, no matter how minor it is. But... so he was just pissed, and you could tell, like, because as soon as he came over, he's like, so you don't have insurance or something? And I was like, actually, I did find it after she called you, and I just figured since you were on your way, we might as well just do the whole follow-up.
Yeah.
And so he was just like, okay. And he took my insurance card and my license, went back to the car. He listened to her whole side of the story, came over to me, listened to, like, the first 30 seconds of mine, got pissed, walked into his car. He's like, no, that's enough. And then walked into his car. And I was like, okay.
He's like, really? This was all just poor timing, and that's why I'm out here? You know what? You two take care of it, I'm going.
Right, but that's what it seemed like.
Wow.
And then he's like, just wait here. And then he came back and gave me a ticket. And the ticket was endangerment of life and property. And then there's a couple other things on there as well, to the point where, like, I was being charged with a misdemeanor. And I was like, are you serious? Like, and like he started bringing it up, and then he was like, well, you were distracted driving. And I was like, no, I wasn't. I didn't even have my radio on. I just glanced. He's like, look, you can't argue with me right now. I already gave you the ticket. He's like, you can fight it in court, or you can go to jail. And I was like, okay.
See, and that's the thing too, where they probably were like, he probably was like this is a 20-something who
it was probably on his phone.
20-something male who just didn't care, and he's making up an excuse
with his friend in his car, like
and that's a little, you know, in a sense, it's discriminatory a little bit.
It is 100%
because it's just like, okay, yeah, I drive, you know, I personally drive 10 times better than some of the people that I know who are, you know, regardless of whatever. But when I get pulled over, I get a ticket or whatever. And then everything is just like, oh, you're at fault. You're at fault.
So,
okay, continue.
No, I mean, if you wanted to add something. You
can. Mine was just off topic with getting pulled over. Like I heard with James. Actually, James got pulled over one time, but he speeds all the time. And he says, like, he asked the cops, like, what's the actual thing when you should do when a cop pulls you over? And he's like, just have your hands on the steering wheel when they approach you and do it. I got pulled over one time with a guy on my CRV, didn't have a license plate on because I just bought it and they were waiting on the tabs. Got pulled over. He's like, he didn't ask me how fast I was going. I was speeding. He's like, he didn't ask me how fast I was going. He's like, waiting on your license plates. Like, yeah, I bought the car like a week ago. He's like, yeah, the DMV's really far. I'll be right back. Came back. He didn't hand me nothing. Left me go. Because I was just sitting there waiting for him. I was like, holy shit, it worked.
I mean, that probably also could have just been like a...
But I know I was speeding. I absolutely...
Did I tell you about how I got pulled over on a boat?
You were on the boat?
Yeah. So... Sorry, I just wanted to wet my nose a little bit. So my parents got a brand new pontoon. And they're just breaking it in. So it doesn't have, like, the actual registration. It's got 21-day registration on it.
Yep.
So Memorial Day weekend... I'm taking it for a little cruise.
Within the 21-day thing?
Yep, within the 21-day thing. Because we got the boat. The boat was delivered that Thursday. I was driving it that Sunday.
Okay.
Right? So it came Thursday. I was driving it that Sunday, just 4 days later. And I don't drive our boat, like, ever. I drove our old boat maybe once or twice. And this one, my dad's like, oh, yeah, just go take it out for a spin, break it in a little bit. So I took my cousin and my sister, or two of my cousins and my sister, and we're just tooling around the lake. Here's a sheriff. on a boat coming towards us. There are 5 fishing boats around us. Okay, we're just driving through them. They pull me over because we don't have the registration on the boat.
Oh.
And they're all like our age. Okay, so they're like college age students.
The ones in the fishing boats?
In the in the sheriff boat.
Oh.
Yeah, so they're like this is their summer gig, or they're your criminal justice majors, and this is their thing during the summer or whatever it is. And so we're sitting there. Well, at first I didn't know they were trying to pull me over because they had like their hand up, like it looked like they were waving.
Right.
So my cousin waved at them, and I'm like, okay, there are a ton of fishing boats around me. Why are they going to pull me over?
Right.
Well, I get pulled over, and we're sitting there and like, oh, you don't have any registration on the boat? Is this brand new? I'm like, yep, literally just got it the other day. They're like, can we see the 21-day registration? And I'm like, yeah, let me look around. So we're like looking around. I'm like, great. My parents
probably have it on them.
I was like, don't. Oh no. And then, but somebody found it.
Okay.
So then they took it and they're like, yeah, okay, good, this works. But it's protocol for us to write up a warning. So can I have your driver's license? I'm like, okay. So I gave it to them. And then they sat there and they started asking questions like, do you have a throwable? Like a throwable, like life preserver
they're
thing.
digging for something.
Yeah, and I was like, probably somewhere around here. And the guy, like, I'm already a little like, great, I'm gonna get written up, whatever, all this other stuff. And the guy comes out and he goes, if you don't have it, that's a fine. And we're all just like, what? And the guy goes, just kidding. And my cousin took it in stride. My cousin Matt, he's my age, our age, whatever. He took it in stride and he goes, great to see cops still have a sense of humor. Just kind of like, whatever.
Yikes.
And then they started asking questions like, do you have a fire extinguisher on the boat? And I'm like, why are you drilling me? I'm not the owner of this boat. This is my parents' boat. Don't ask. And then I'm looking around. I'm like, my parents sell insurance as like one of the millions of jobs that they do. And I'm like, great. My parents, who sell insurance, don't have a fire extinguisher on their boat.
Oh, jeez.
Which is like a big no-no,
Right,
and you know, you need to have one. And then I found out it was just behind me, in the captain's chair behind me. I'm like, oh, awesome. So anyways, long story short, I get this like written ticket. It was like, you don't have to go for a court date, and you don't get a fine, but we just have to write it down as a warning. I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, as we're driving away, I'm like, you know, if this would have been like a seasoned sheriff, he would have been like, that 21-day thing, that's good enough for me. Whatever, you just keep going.
Right, yeah.
Right?
Well, you think that...
But, and then I brought it back to my dad, and he goes, how is the thing? I just handed him the violation. I was like, he goes, what the hell is this?
Sorry, Dad, you're both being confiscated.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
I know it was funny, too, because while that guy was writing up the ticket, you could just see he's shaking the whole time, and he's like, I don't have a pen. Do you have a pen? And he went over to the girl, and he's like, they had it in her thing, and you could just see him, like, pull it out on her shirt. So he was just as nervous as we were, and I was just like, this is great.
So I actually had to go to court for mine. I don't know because I didn't want the misdemeanor to hang out on my record, you know? So I went to court, and because he said you could argue it in court, and I was like, well, I will. So I'll see you there, buddy. And then like, so it was like a month later, because it like takes forever for that stuff to get processed. I had to take off work and school to go to this court appearance, and like, little known thing about our courthouse here in St. Cloud, it sucks.
Yes,
there's like an hour, like there's everything has parking meters.
Oh yeah.
And it's only like an hour parking. There's one spot that's like 2 hour parking, and
when I did mine, I parked in the parking lot or the parking
ramp. Yeah, but I was also new to St. Cloud at this point, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I
you
didn't
had
really
no
know
idea,
any of that, and I didn't know how long it took to do this. I was like, am I gonna go in and sign a piece of paper saying that I dispute it? Like, I don't know how this works. So, luckily, I never got a ticket, because I actually ended up going to court 4 times for this.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, fight it while you can.
Yeah, and so, the first time I went, it was basically just like a mediation is what they call it. So, it was the public prosecutor sitting across from me at a table, and the prosecutor comes to me and says, like, hey, like, you can fight this, but it's your word against the cops. Let me just take a drink.
Yeah.
It was your word against the cops. So, very manly here, but no, it was. So it says your word against the cops, pretty much. And if you do fight this, we have grounds to start charging you for a felony and 90 days in jail.
which is just entrapment.
Yeah.
Basically.
Basically, it was like he's a kid. He's gonna give up and pay the $300 fine and take it on his record
because he doesn't know anything.
Yeah, and then for her, it's like an easy win for my record, and eventually I get to be a real lawyer. Mm-hmm. Shots fired.
Here we go. You're not ready for me to fire back.
And then I just told her, I was like, honestly, this whole thing is like complete BS, and you guys have no grounds to be doing this. It was a very minor accident. Nothing happened. My insurance covered everything. Like, this is any reasonable judge is going to laugh you out of court.
Yep.
And I just said that, and she was just like, well, we'll see you then, Mr. Holland. And I was like, okay. So then
see you then, Miss Lawyer.
Yeah, and then I got like a summons for like 2 weeks from then. And I showed up, and it was another like, I had to go in to the courtroom and actually say, I'm pleading not guilty of these charges and all that stuff. And then that was it, and I had to leave. And then I came back again because now it's an actual court case, and I had to do another mediation. Jesus. With a new prosecutor, because now it's like an active case instead of like a pre-case thing.
A pre-trial,
yeah. So I basically had to just come in and say the same thing again. But like, what you don't realize is that when you go into court, like I'm sitting next to people who are like hardcore drug addicts, and like like they're in there for like some like bigger things.
Some serious,
Yeah, like people are like extremely unruly, and I'm sitting next to them in like in a suit and tie because I thought that's what you're supposed to do. And these people are in like big boots and like like greased up clothes, and they're just like angry and yelling at people, and it's like, I don't belong here. Like I didn't do anything.
Cody's the bad guy.
I'm like, I was literally just being a cautious driver.
Right, but it's like it's not like the way I'm telling this makes it sound like every trip I made to the courtroom was like quick. Like it's just like walk in, walk out. No, it was like I was there for like 4 hours each time. And so then, like, the last time I showed up, there was one last mediation she wanted to try with me because she knew she was going to lose. And that's what I took it as. But meanwhile, the whole time my parents were like, you just need to submit because, like you don't want a felony on your record. Like, what if you do lose? What if they had, like, a traffic cam that caught it or something and you were doing something wrong? And I was like, I wasn't, though. So I'm not, even if they did have a traffic cam, they're going to see I just glanced over and bumped her.
Yeah. If they could see your face, they would notice that.
And so... this time, the cop was there, and the lady in the mediation said, we also have the other person involved in the incident, and she's here to testify against you, saying that you were on your phone. And I was like...
Oh, what?
I was like, that's complete BS. Also, it's still just my word against hers because the cop wasn't there when the accident happened.
Yeah.
And I just told her that.
And she was in front of you, you were behind, so how do you know if...
Yeah.
How does she know?
Yeah. Why was she looking at me through her mirror? Should she have been going forward and not stopping in the middle of traffic?
Because it was green.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, it's just like a stupid.
It's
argument.
your fault that I got in an accident.
But no, like it's just we're just pointing out the obvious
it's just
details.
So like for me it was like I'm not gonna lose this. So I went to the court office and it was a new judge, and she had seen the record of how many times I've been there for this, and then she was just like she had already had descriptions because the cop has to file what both of us said happened and all that kind of stuff, and then in the mediations they have to file that too. So the cop already knows the entire case, or the judge already knows the entire case, and she's read it, and you can see by the look on her face, she's like, I cannot believe I'm wasting my time with this right now.
Yeah, with this case.
And she just looks so pissed, and then the other person involved in the accident didn't show up.
Nice.
So she lied to me in the mediation because she said she was already there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then she's like, well, our witness is not here. We would like to we would like to move for an extension or something like that.
No.
And so I would have had to go again. And the judge just went like this. She was like, and she looked over and she's like, Mr. Holland, what would you like to do? And I was like, honestly, I'd like to go back to work. I was like, I've already been here 4 times. If we can get this taken care of today, that'd be great. And I was like, either way, however this case goes, I want to go back to work.
Yeah.
And the judge was just like, well, and she like said the other lady's name, and she was just like, well, we dismissed the case. And then I just got up and walked out, and the judge was just like so pissed because like, that those judges are like just so tired of these petty charges because they know it's fake and they get sick of people just getting screwed.
And it's almost plays into the part of, and I don't know what the prison system in this area is like, but there is the idea that, well, for-profit prisons need to have a certain quota of people in them.
Yeah.
And the more people you can get in them, the more money those for-profit prisons can make.
And the best moment of this whole thing was afterwards I had to sign a bunch of paperwork saying like also recognized the case was dismissed, and you know, I have plans of like countersuing or like any of that
formally
kind of stuff.
ending.
Yeah. So I had to do all that, saying that I'm not obligated to pay any of the court fees because I was wrongfully charged, all that kind of stuff. So I got out of any payments, which was nice. But after I got done filing all that paperwork, the officer walked out of the courtroom, and I was just like, "Thanks for your service, officer." I'm like, I'm a dick.
You said that?
Yes.
Oh God.
Yeah, I was so mad though. I mean,
No,
I missed
I
work and
understand.
school 4 days.
Some of
in
that
a
is
row.
so stupid. Like, I'm going to tell this story.
So I have one quick one. When I got in an accident, like I think they have to call the cops when they perceive that it's over a certain amount of money. What I was told.
Damage-wise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
They
mine,
do.
like I totaled my vehicle, but I put a hole in the lady's bumper about that big, and I got ticketed. But it was only like $125 when I went to court.
Yeah.
Oh, but so your car got totaled, but since she got this hole in it, you got fined.
I got fined. I was at fault. That was my.
You got your car totaled and you were fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
But I know I've kind of told this story a few times to some people, but I know maybe I'm going to say it anyway. Sorry. My older sister got into some trouble because, and funny thing is, she's going to be a lawyer now, which is great. Or maybe then I shouldn't say it.
Too late now.
No, I mean I don't think that affects.
I mean, well, it's kind of like
if it's along the lines of like, yeah, she lied to a court.
no. Like this
Then don't say it.
This was
Hand me a
honestly.
cookie.
I think this is
I'm on
partly
license.
why she's going to law school too, because she's really good at this. She got basically what happened was, she was at a bar, and her friend and she was legal, so everybody that she was with legal, whatever, they could all
Is
drink.
she hot? Just kidding.
Yes.
Not
Renee's
fun.
like, can't say that. Renee's with us.
But anyway, so she was at a bar or whatever, and her friend was like yelling at these cops.
When you say legal, she's of drinking age.
Yeah.
Of drinking
Not
age. Yes,
of
that's what I
illegal.
mean. She is of drinking age. She is able to. Nice.
It was a joke. It wasn't like it's not like I was actually interested. It was just to make Brandon uncomfortable.
But to answer your question,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Oh, also by the way, Renee is here, and she just walked out because I said that.
So he's gonna have to mend that later. But anyways,
you heard a lot of
No,
people.
I think she was just going to the bathroom.
yeah.
But
But anyways, so her friend was like in a yelling match with the cops, whatever, having an argument with the cops, and
Drunk girls, woo!
and no, it was a guy.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it was a guy having an argument with the cops, and my older sister, she's standing on the steps of the bar, and she's like, "Just come back in, we'll figure it out, whatever." And she's holding her drink in her hand, and the cop goes, one of the cops, so there are two of them. One of the cops goes, "Are you old enough to drink, ma'am?" Because she's like, she's short.
really short.
Yeah.
She's really short. When you see me and my other sister, and then you see her, it's like, boop. Anyways, and she's like, "Yes." And he goes, "Well, can I see your ID?" She like pulled it out, and he's like, "Here." And he's like, "Come here with it." So she got down the steps.
No.
Got down the steps, handed him the ID, and he goes, "Yeah, you are, but I'm gonna have to charge you with public intoxication or
my
open carry."
gosh.
And the other cop that was with just went, "What?" Like seriously. And then he kind of went up to my sister while the other cop was writing the ticket. And the one who didn't charge her was like, I'm sorry, I can't do anything about it now because he's writing the ticket right now."
Yeah.
So she was actually going to fight that, but then I think they just like, since the cop was involved, they did the lawyers did that whole thing where it was just like, well, it's cop's word against yours, and like, all that stuff. So my parents were just like, let's just not fight it, and my older sister didn't fight it either. But I was just like,
Wow.
that is so
Fighting
crappy.
is like the fucking just like.
Oh yeah, no,
self-esteem.
because and they think they talk about it's a fair trial, but really when they start pulling that crap on you, it isn't, because all of a sudden it's like there's a bias that judges and the jury has to follow, because it's the law enforcement, it's the law versus you. So are you really right?
You're good. Just keep going. Just keep talking. I'll adjust it. You can...
Yeah, but so then that really questions, was that like, is it really fair if the jury and the judges are like, well, it's the law, it's the officer's voice against your voice, what are you gonna say?
But to him to be like come here and bring me your license plate or license plate, your license. So now I'm gonna charge you because you stepped off the thing.
Yeah.
It's like, it was self-distinct. You're an officer. Of course, I'm gonna follow the rules of walking towards you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna refuse you.
Yeah, because then it's gonna turn into another thing. Like, are you refusing an officer's order?
Yeah.
Are you drunk and refusing an officer's orders? Like, you know what I mean? It's gonna.
Well, what really should have happened was my sister put down the drink and then walked to him.
Yeah.
But
still,
at that point,
like...
in the night, you're not worried about that, and you may even forget because you're at a bar. You might forget that you have it in your hand necessarily, and you're just like, I'm in the moment, I'm doing my thing, but I still have it in my hand. You know, that's not the most immediate thing on your mind.
In your brain, you're not like, the second I step on that sidewalk, I'm breaking the law. Like, it's not a mindset.
Which is so stupid. Which I think now we're getting into like drinking laws and stuff, but like Europe, I think has it right where you can like. There's certain places where you can walk around with a drink. And it doesn't matter.
Vegas is like that.
Yeah, Vegas is the only place in the United States that I can think of that's like that. But I'm like, it's just like the moment you step off the property and you're on the sidewalk, the city sidewalk, you are now public property, and therefore you are.
That's ridiculous.
Yep. So, and my sister, she's going to be a lawyer. So it'll be interesting.
That's good.
Hopefully she doesn't have to fight something like that. Like, really, I'm fighting this? Like,
oh, she would know though.
Yeah.
If she was a defense lawyer, she'd be like, "Let me help you because I've got this down pat." But yeah.
How much time do we have left?
I don't know. I hit the button 10 minutes ago. So I hit the clock button 10 minutes.
We started
ago.
at like 3:30. We started at like 3:30.
Okay.
So we have like a half hour. So we talked about quite a bit.
Oh, do we? I'm following here. You guys are leading this thing. I have nothing right now.
I mean, yeah.
Stuff is
yeah.
So as of today, Brandon, we have one more podcast before
Podcast.
Hold that thought.
Go ahead.
You guys keep talking.
It's the part of the podcast where Jordan talks about the podcast.
No, I was just talking about before we go to the cabin.
No, we got
one. I think we have one more live one.
No, we've got two more.
Is it two more?
Yeah, because this will go up.
Yeah.
Let me look at the calendar.
Okay,
Let me look at the calendar.
Because
we'll
the
have
one weekend before the. Okay, never mind. There's three. There's two more.
Yeah, because we've got this week was live. Well, this is a pre-recorded one for the 15th.
So the
22nd will be a live one. Oops. And then the 29th is pre-recorded. Okay. And then the 6th is still live. So
okay. We're going to talk
about... Ooh, that might be a rough weekend to try to get at.
You don't have to do it. I can do it.
Do it all by yourself because it's the 4th of July.
I can get some people. I got some people.
Because, the 13th is... That's cabin
We're going
weekend.
to a cabin, which I'm going to try to do. I might go buy a camcorder instead.
It's sounding nuts.
Yeah, I don't like the idea that we're going to do the beer Olympics and the way that they have the beer Olympics. Like, let's make everyone... Because at that point, it's not going to be alcohol content. It's going to be liquid content.
Yeah, we were talking about... I was talking with somebody else, one of our other friends, about it. And that night that we talked about the beer Olympics, they were like... if we're going to do this, because one, I've got shows that week afterwards, so I can't be hungover the following day, because I'm not going to be able to survive, because doing like a 3-hour show is
it's awful.
Draining, and doing a 3-hour show basically every night, 7 days a week.
The night after the
so
cabin?
That Sunday is a dress rehearsal. I'm missing one dress rehearsal while we're up at the cabin. So I've got that Sunday dress rehearsal. That night when we come back, that Monday dress rehearsal, which is doing the entire show. Tuesday actual performance. Wednesday performance. Thursday performance. Friday performance. And then there's a break on Saturday, and then Sunday is a performance and Monday is a performance. So I'm basically going boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. So like I think the people that are hardest hitting. So we're going to the cabin. The theme for the cabin was going to be beer Olympics, right?
We're doing a beer Olympics, and the theme
is
being like an actual Olympics team.
I think it should be it shouldn't be beer Olympics. It should be like drinking Olympics because then we can subsidize it other than beer.
Oh no! That's just like you're not always drinking beer in a beer Olympics.
Well, how they describe it is they want to do it.
There's the one, yeah. Well, okay, and that's
what I'm saying. The biggest drinkers were like, yeah, let's do this shit. Woo!
Well, because they wanted to do a whole thing where, each team has to agree upon a case, and whatever case of beer that is, everybody has to drink it. But I was talking to somebody and it's just like, and they brought it up that night we talked about it. They said each person should choose their drinks that they want to drink and then just put it in a case.
Yeah.
You know, and make it their case. The case is 24 beers.
Even like some of the events, like the first one, it could like they want to do the case race thing.
Yeah.
And I think it should only be 2 teams. Because
12v12.
You're getting way too many people. We're like, all right, 4 teams of 6. It's like, you just have way too many people. There's like way too many people to keep up.
I know, I counted. There's like 24 people going to the cabin.
And like some of us aren't. I'm not a heavy beer drinker, like at all.
No, I am not a heavy beer drinker at all. I'll have one every once in a while. Like I've really cut back since the beginning of this year.
And so with like
and I didn't even do it all. Yeah.
Recently now I'm working out. I'm like, beer's gonna fucking ruin me and shit like that.
Well, and I never really did it a whole lot prior to this, but I just haven't.
So and then I also thought of like, instead of like when you go to an actual Olympics, you have people that specifically do one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Make events that people can specifically do the one thing.
Yeah,
and
because there is no way in hell they were talking about one event where it's you chug a can of beer, you take a plastic bat, and you spin in a circle 10 times, and then they throw that beer can at you, and you have to try to hit it. I'm like, I'm gonna puke, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You know, that's one event, and the host doesn't want people puking everywhere.
Yeah, like, some of the people there, like Austin, he could drink a lot, but it's not going to be alcohol content that's going to get him. It's going to be volume. And he's just going to throw up because it's just like...
Because it's just got liquid. Yeah, he's got too much liquid in him.
Yeah, and so it's just going to be, like, the person next to me, we were placed for, like, 4 hours-ish that night?
When?
This Saturday.
Oh, wait, yeah.
For the,
we were probably at my house for 3-4 hours.
And so the person next to me put away 6 beers, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And so it was like, no problem. Like, he went home that night just fine. And so like I'd have been gone because I don't drink at all. Like I'm probably gonna go with Captain, and I'm gonna probably have like Captain Morgan and like Dr. Pepper or whatever. Just like something simple every time. Just so I like the taste of it. I don't like the taste of beer. Mm-hmm. And so I don't want to like just throw up everywhere and do all this stuff. Yeah,
because we had a bad thing happen last year. We don't have to talk about it, but it just like it wasn't good.
Well, you know? I like how it's like he didn't make it. People they say they didn't make the bathroom. He made it to the bathroom.
He did. He just
didn't make it all in the toilet.
Yeah, it was.
Did you see it at all?
Yes,
I didn't see it. I did not see it. The door.
Well, because I was one of the people that was kind of helping out with the whole thing.
Oh no.
The 2 hosts were taking care of him, a person that was happened to, but I was basically in charge of keeping everybody else out of the house. And then once
in the house, because we were already in there like taking a nap or something like that.
And then it was at night too, so people were going to bed and all this stuff. Well, yeah, I didn't get to bed until like 3 because I stayed up because I let the hosts go to bed because they were taking care of the person who was really bad, and I went down by the lake, by the bonfire to see who was all left and just like watch them to make sure nothing was going to happen to them. And by that time, I'm like, it's 2:00 in the morning. I'm so tired.
What day are you going down?
I'll go Friday. I'll go Friday now. Some people wanted to go Thursday, but I'm like, I can't miss another dress because I'm missing 1 dress rehearsal already. I can't miss 2.
I'm gonna go. I'll be going up probably Saturday because Alyssa now wants to come with, and so.
Oh, she is coming with now. Okay, we didn't know that or not. So she is coming.
Yeah, I told her to vote on that thing. We have a big cabin thing we go up to. We've done you guys done it more than I have.
Oh, we've done it a couple of years now.
This is I think the 3rd year I've done it. 3rd or 4th year I've done it.
Probably how many times we've been up there as
a giant group.
As a giant group. Well, not necessarily.
We have a really big. Our buddy has this really really big cabin. It holds like. You looking for your phone?
No, my invitation.
I thought my party.
Not my house.
Not my party.
But it's a home. It's not a cabin.
Okay.
It's a home.
So yeah, I think so. Think of a cabin. It's cabin-like, with wood house.
It has the aesthetic of a cabin, but it's a house.
And it can hold 50 people.
That's pretty dope.
Oh yeah. Well, the whole place can hold 50 people.
Like it's not big. It's not. There's not enough rooms for 50 people. It's just that they've had 50 people there, and they're just sprawled out everywhere, across the entire building.
Well, the bunkhouse holds like 10 people, doesn't it?
That can hold 15.
So yeah,
Easily.
there's like a bunkhouse that's like 20, 30 feet from the beach.
Who owns this?
One of our buddies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what lake is this on? Sorry, I didn't catch the.
So it's the lake is by Brainerd. It's that chain of lakes up by Brainerd.
Okay. Yep.
And Cross Lake.
And we do it like middle of the summer-ish type of deal. And we do it for like a Sunday. We do from like some people go on Thursday, but most of us do from Friday to Sunday, roughly.
Yeah. And everybody trickles in on Friday usually.
And I
There's
was
very
asking,
few people that come in on Thursday.
because I'm gonna try to get my vehicle before then. I'll drive that up there, so I'll have room in a new vehicle. Yay.
Well, I probably won't be driving out this way to come up that way. You know what I mean? I'd
That's
probably.
fine. I'm saying I could come get you otherwise.
Well, no, there's plenty of people going up there from around that area.
I don't know if you're gonna go or not. Go by yourself or not. Because last year we went up with Carly, so I was like, I don't know if you were gonna go up with somebody again.
Well, I was gonna figure that out once we got closer.
That's fine.
Because there's a ton of people now nearby that I can just carpool and we'll head up there.
Yeah, because I think we usually have like 20 some people every year go. And last year we were talking about this. We had a theme last year. It was Hawaiian theme, which we didn't really do anything other than
we had some
Hawaiian
decorations,
shirts.
and I wore my Hawaiian shirt. That was good.
This year they want to do
Olympics
because
they want to do a beer Olympics.
Beer Olympics.
Oh God.
And so we're talking about how bad idea this is, and like some of the bigger guys are like, let's just drink all the time and just like this is big events because they can push back like 8 beers and have an issue with them. I'm sitting there with one going, oh, this is disgusting. Get this out of my hand. And so
because there's some people that we hang out with. They could, if they had a case day, easy. They're not going to be bothered by it.
I like beer, but I could not get drunk on beer. It's to me though it's the
and
worst
you know what they're
kind
gonna
of
do?
drunk.
They're doing Bush and Bud and all this.
You get, it's really bad. Like, because I've definitely had terrible hangovers with beer, and I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I can't drink this anymore because it's just that bad.
And so like they want to do something like the case race would be. I suggested like it was like you do like part physical event and then part like the drinking part. So like there's the cabin's on top of a small hill and the beach house is down here. It's a steep hill, and so like 2 people your team would start at the bottom, run to the top of the case, you jump it, start drinking, and then it was just like they were like, oh, let's split into. They made it super complicated. Like let's split into 4 teams. Every team has this. They have to represent a country or something like that.
4 teams of 6. Well, yeah, and then each one. Basically, it's the first team to finish their case.
Well, that was the first event. I was like, okay, that's fine or whatever. That's not many beers if you have 2 teams.
Yeah, and it's like if you have 2 teams, it's 2 beers. If you have 4 teams of 6, it's 4 beers.
And
I mean, which isn't, it's a little worse, but it's not as bad.
Like the big guys could put away 6. I could only put away 2, and then you just had to figure
chugging beer and exercising sounds like the worst experience.
No, you're gonna die. You're gonna die.
So and then all their events were just chugging beer, and so like you have to do something other than that because like
there's one event that we talked about it, the one that they were trying to figure out. It's you take a beer, you slam it, and then you give it the empty can to somebody. You take a plastic bat and you spin around like 10 times, and then they have to throw it at you. I'm like, I'm gonna puke.
Yeah.
Especially if we're doing a case race before that.
Yeah.
So there, I've chugged, depending on how many you have, 3 to 5 beers there. I'm like, oh.
Well, it's like, then I said like actual Olympics, you have people that are designated to do one thing. You should make events for people like, all right, this will be for people that are a little faster or whatever. They're a little speedy. Maybe they're the person that runs the beer or whatever. Like I don't know. But these guys are just we're just gonna drink all the time. They make this awful stuff called Jungle Juice.
Yeah.
Okay, no, but that was funny. Our friend who brought it. That really hurt somebody last time we were up there. But he's like, I had the right stuff. I just forgot it in the freezer.
He forgot the ingredients, so he improvised it.
Uh-oh.
It was really bad.
And somebody...
They decided to put Bush in it. Bush Light into it. And it's like vodka and all this other stuff. I'm like, what are you doing?
Beer just took over the entire flavor. That's all I tasted. Mm-hmm. And somebody really liked it. And they drank a lot of it. And
they
decided to go to the bathroom. Didn't quite make it all in the toilet. Nice. This really nice place.
Yeah, we don't really have to talk about.
Some people spent some time cleaning it. Not me. It wasn't me.
I didn't clean it. I didn't clean it, but I did help that person because they were.
Clean it. They're like, I don't know. Apparently, they went to the shower to clean them off. Like they were supposed to.
He stood in the shower for 2 hours.
Oh God.
Yep. For like 2 hours.
That's insane. Like that's the worst thing too. Is like when you're at a party and like you have to babysit the whole time.
Me and the 2 hosts, we had a definitive conversation about whether or not we should call 911.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
But we got to that point and we're like, well, I think the time for calling 911 has passed.
Yeah.
Like, we're at this point now.
Yeah.
So.
I'm just like, I laugh every time because I haven't been up that much and I don't do a ton of drinking because it's like, me having a very, very physical labor job, I'm tired after like 10 o'clock. I'm like, God dang it, I don't want to stay up anymore.
It's that way with mental jobs too. I know, like you harp on Brandon and I once in a while.
I just go to sleep
like,
because I feel like I sleep so much more because like my body just like my brain can function, my body's super tired.
Well, I know, yeah, but I think that's where like
I'm not trying
with
to,
all like our D&D stuff and stuff, like my creative juices are like expired at the end of the day.
I'm not begging on you.
No, I know. Well, sometimes you're
not,
like, you
yeah,
guys
you
with
do,
your comfy
you do.
office jobs.
Yeah, you do.
No, but like if I'm saying like with that having, I said like my brain's still somewhat functional after a long day.
See, and the thing is, it's not that our brains are not. Or at least I'm talking about my brain. At least it's not functioning like it does when I try to go to sleep. My brain just is continuously running because it hasn't stopped all day.
Well, I always compare it to like my brain's been running all day, and that functions everything else in my body. I'm just tired, but like I just probably it's just me personally. I could because I can stay like if I stay here and play games or I'm doing homework or something like that. I can stay up fairly late and do it. Yeah. Just my physical labor job sucks and it's taxing on me.
Yeah.
But I crank out at 10 o'clock.
Well, the thing is, like, it's like I'm noticing a lot as I get older, turning 25 pretty soon here, next week actually.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, birthday's next week. But yeah, it's well, I guess when this comes out, it will have been last week.
Oh, well, then happy birthday!
But yeah, but like I'm starting to notice like that's just getting older. Like you have a job now. You're dedicating time to relationships and like it's not, and I'm not trying to make this like a bad thing. Those are all very good things, but it's just like
Renee.
all the things when you were younger that you used to do where you like spend a ton of time, like staying up late with your friends. Like I can't do sleepovers anymore. I can't. Like I'm going to my parents tonight for a bonfire and it's like I'm gonna have to tell them I'm not staying the night because it's like I get too tired and I want my bed and I want to wake up the way I want to. Like I just getting older, you know. It kind of sucks, but
I know when we do things like, get-togethers with friends, bonfires, whatever. I do the same thing. I'm like, I'm not going to drink because if I drink too much, then I'm forced to stay here, and I just want to go to bed in my own, or go to sleep in my own bed.
Yeah, it's just finding new things that you value. Like I used to value staying up super late with my friends, playing video games, like drinking and playing Counter-Strike, and like just being stupid. But then like now, it feels good to go home and like lay in your own bed and feel like you accomplished something and made money and it feels good. It's like just a different kind of feel.
And then just because like I know the other day when we were playing Halo and all that stuff, that was probably the first time I'd stayed up that late in months, know, and I was like, it was good to do it, again, just reminisce.
I'm always the first one to fall asleep because I can't do it.
Yeah.
This is like, I've always been that way recently with like, I don't know. I always noticed it with the trend because I didn't have a very physically able job being younger, but then it's also just me getting older as well.
Yeah.
And so, I don't. My purposely me saying that is not intentionally trying to like, hey, you have an office job.
Yeah.
Obviously, if I had an office job, I would love to. I would love to be able to like. It's like, oh, I can stay up forever now. I'm gonna try to when I get one. And it's like, God, this is awful.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, like you did Northway. Just imagine doing that 8 hours a day, like. But like, but it's more of like, I mean, like last week I had to design an entire layout of a book in an hour, like and then it's like it gets harshly criticized when something's wrong, but you have to do it, and then you have to make up those edits while trying to complete this next task in an hour. So now you have double the work in an hour, and so it's like you're like micromanaging everything constantly, and like I'm monitoring 5 states and all the projects in those states, and like all these, it's like. You're doing a lot all the time. Yeah. So it's like when you get home and like someone's like, hey, read this thing. You're like, no.
Well, especially too, you're like, okay. Well, for me too, kids ask you a question. You're just like, I never thought about that. Yeah. You're going to have to look that up. And then you got to look it up. And then you run into an issue. Okay, well, this student is lagging behind in this. And then you got to figure out, okay, how am I supposed to do that?
Yeah, it's a lot of problem solving. But
And
I'm not saying that physical jobs are less. No. I'm just saying like it's.
You could have about as equal. Yeah, you could be as equally tired from doing a mental job than you can from physical job. It's just whatever part of your body's tired.
It depends on the person, because I know I work with people that are in their 50s and they've been doing this entire life. It's like, how are you doing this? It astonishes me that we pay working class so much less for them to destroy quote unquote destroy their bodies.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say anything.
What?
I'm not gonna say anything.
I mean, I don't know. I feel.
Yes, you went to school for it, Brandon, but like and you get paid more is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, no. Like, I'm agreeing with you, is what I'm saying. Like, it's
Oh.
just that I'm not going to...
You're a teacher, so like.
Well,
you
I'm
kinda
not,
know
yeah,
those-
and I'm not going to introduce my school of thought.
I know.
but,
I think teachers getting underpaid is bullshit as well.
oh,
But-
yeah, no, it is. But it's right there with all the other working class jobs.
Because then I see the teacher not getting paid bullshit, and like, oh, no, he's on an office job. He doesn't get paid for crap. Being a young kid, you know.
And considering everything else that a teacher has to do, and it's just...
Yeah.
And along too with like physical laborer jobs, I was reading a book, and it was a book about a speech, and in the speech they talked about how people who worked at a Ford plant who started years ago are getting paid like $28 an hour. This is a little bit older speech, but a new person like our age going in at the same exact position is getting paid $14 an hour, half the amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's experience.
Yeah, and it's also, and if obviously you're 50 years old and you like doing the physical stuff, fine, be that way. But you're not going out of the way to get somewhere else. Like, my dad has been at my dad, I work with my dad, he's been there for 15, 16 years, I actually don't know. He's now in the office. So thank God, like, good for him to go to the working stuff. He doesn't have to deal with that anymore. And so, now he gets, I think he gets paid more. I honestly don't know. I never asked my dad how much he gets paid.
Well, I'm sure he probably does.
Yeah.
But
So-
And like, I mean, with my dad, he's done construction his whole life, but, you know, and I've brought up to him a lot of times, like, hey, why don't you go back to school so you can be like a project manager or a project lead, so that you just have to tell people where to go and you can just get paid to sit in an office and, you know, organize all these projects. And my dad's like, that sounds like the worst nightmare.
Yeah,
I can
my dad was
imagine,
the
'cause
same
he's
way.
like, I don't want to be in charge of, because my dad's worked in construction so long, he knows how most people in those fields are. They're just hacks. Like, they're just gonna go in and slap something together, and as long as they get their 2 15s and a 30, and they get to smoke a pack of cigarettes on the way home and drink a gallon of beer in the fridge, they don't, or in the shower afterwards. Like, they don't care. Like,
just
they don't care.
sitting in the fridge.
Yeah. I mean, that
I-
does sound nice because it's cold.
I took it as the beer was in the fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
But-
that's how I understood it too.
Yeah, but so in his eyes, he's like, I don't want to manage those people ever. He's had employees before. He hates it. Like, it just, so for him, it's
Yeah.
like, he likes to start a project, make something pretty, and then wrap up that project and get paid.
I bet
So,
you.
like,
I bet you we'll see it differently. Like the change, like when that passes on. Us are like, all right, office jobs where it's at. That's where we prefer to be in that position. And then later on, like, I don't know. I don't have like. I think a majority of the kids in our class, graduating class, are doing physical labor stuff. I say so.
a lot of times
I'd
the
say a
small
majority of the
towns-
guys
Yeah.
are definitely. Yeah, probably majority of everybody in our class.
Well, they're like heavily pushing technical degrees and stuff now too, because it was all the trades are kind of going to the
boomers.
wayside because because those fields were really flooded for a while, and so we were pushing kids to go get like more educated like positions, like, you know.
And there's no jobs in those parts
yeah,
anymore.
now those are flooded, and then the tech skill jobs are not. So it's like you have to like go back and forth,
Redirect
and
them,
it's
yeah.
like,
Which is stupid because, as you know, what we should be doing as a society
Kids.
is whatever you want to do, go ahead and do it, because there technically should be a job there for you.
yeah.
Be a robotics thing. We'll go back to AI. Start programming. Figure that stuff out.
If you're good at it.
If you're good at it.
If you suck,
Don't do something you hate.
Yeah.
Don't do something you hate.
Don't try and be the fish who tries to climb a tree. What is that? Albert
Einstein.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it'll spend its entire life thinking it's stupid.
Yeah. So like, but I would argue with him and say no. Not everybody's a genius. I've
True.
met
In
some
their
Yeah.
field. Hey,
They might be a genius in their field.
or their mind.
well, or at least they could have been had they not been judged by their ability to
You
climb.
can't-
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean? So,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
if
They
someone-
could be a
if-
genius.
If someone was told that 2 + 2 = fish their entire life, they're not lying when they do.
Right, yeah, it's like,
They're very proficient in the 2
Yeah.
+ 2 = fish arithmetic.
They've just never been told the actual.
Yeah. Oh boy.
yeah.
That's what's with like the lie detector things. Like you're not lying if you believe it's true.
Yeah.
True.
It's so much a weird thing.
That's why they don't hold up in court though. Like you can use it to persuade a jury, but you can't use
not-
it for a final call.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like lie detectors are basically just if you have a lack of evidence and you want to push it a little bit, you can be like, we did take a lie detector test and he did fail it. So, like, you know,
asked me,
and they are
you asked
seen
me
as
if 2
like,
plus 2 was fish. I said no. See, he's lying, sir.
yeah, which is so weird because how does that even track? It tracks your heart rate and your brain, or
a lot
what?
of things. Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea. Your brain. You're probably your. If you're lying and you're probably bad at it, some people have like a twitch, you know, or something like that. Their eye twitches.
Well,
or
yeah,
like
they
that.
look at your body language, but also when you take the lie detector test, in order to get the
No.
They like hook it up on their head.
No.
What?
No.
Oh.
I was like, what are you?
I did
looking
not
at?
I
do
thought
that.
something was happening.
No.
Because if you
taking over,
no.
it's like, God.
But
I assume it's just like your
They
blood
put
pressure
the
or
thing
blood
on your
pressure
head,
goes
though,
up.
too. They put like a thing on your finger and they put like the little
Oh,
thing.
I don't know.
so I
realize
think they
that's-
check like they monitor your heart rate and they
Yeah,
must
it's-
monitor something in your temple to.
What's the like recent like technological advancement, something like that? Like anything like new? I know like
What do you mean?
anything with like like detecting something. Like I know now we can like I saw it online. It was a prosthetic muscle, but all it was like they put electrons through it and it just like it tightened itself. And all it did. It looked like a ball and it was just like it was really cool. I was like, whoa.
What was that? They did something recently with the heart. Can't you get like an artificial heart now?
Yeah.
Like a completely like they can grow an entire heart from stem cells and put it in you.
I think yeah,
Something like that. Or
But-
like it's not to the point where they can actually do it in
implement
practice,
it, but they've
like,
done it. Yeah, I
Mhm.
think so. They take like a certain tissue and then they grow it to become a heart.
Yeah, which is insane.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be pretty cool.
Because that would save a ton of lives.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody has heart disease, you just
Grow
Yeah.
Oh, so
yeah.
Grow 'em a new heart.
Talk about heart. I saw the saddest thing. It was just like this older lady. She's maybe in her 20s, maybe 30s.
great. We're gonna cry.
I
now.
know, I know. She wrote a thing online saying that because when you receive a body part or an organ or something like that from somebody, depending on where it comes from, you get a note saying who it came from.
Oh yeah.
And it was so sad. It's just like, I can't remember what it said, but like thank you for so much. Like the little girl was gonna pass away, so she got the older lady got her heart, and so something about our hearts beat together now or something like that. I was like, oh my God, I'm crying.
Well, I know because there was a
Damn, I should have it.
there was maybe a few weeks ago, these people who was it their dad died in like an accident, but his heart was okay and they gave it to a different person. And they met that person
Yeah, I've
who
seen
got
those-
his
I've seen
heart,
those
and they
videos.
like listened to his heart. Yeah.
It's so crazy. It's like, oh my God, it's so weird.
Yeah, I get why the family would want to do that.
It's
But
also a little weird.
like
It's a little weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Because
Like-
they'll go up to him like this and like.
Yeah, like they didn't even ask. They're just like,
Oh, more than likely they know.
I know, I'm just saying, like,
the
imagine
Cody
if-
scenario is
Just
imagine
like-
if they just
like-
like
He didn't
guy
say
right
yes,
there.
so but I'm gonna try to
Yeah.
sneak in for it anyways. Just,
yeah, there's like they knock on the door, and then like
Hello?
you open it, and then there's just someone there, and they just go,
I think you have. I think you have my.
They don't even say anything. Just like you're just like hello.
yeah.
I have to look.
You're like, are you start petting their head? You're like, are you okay?
There.
Yeah.
I wish I would.
Honey, call
They have a
911.
bit about that in Futurama. The professor has a giant vat of stem cells. It's just pink goo.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like after one of the movies, like they all like explode in like a collision onto Earth, and like it's just like their head and then skeletons, and he just dumps them into a vat of stem cells, and they like get like birthed out this hole, and they just have skin, and they have to like relearn to walk and everything. It's like this is a funny take on the future. One of my other favorite things from Futurama is that just because future tech is funny. This is not ever gonna be needed, but it might be made just for shits and giggles. But the professor has like it's a telescope, but you put your nose in it and you can smell things from a far away.
Smell. I want smell vision.
Just like so, it's like a whole glasses thing too, or is it just? For
It's like it just looks like a telescope until the very end where like the eyepiece would be. It's just like two
It's
things
a-
that come up and you just slide your nose in.
slide your nose in, you're like,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, that reminds me
and
of,
then
like-
couple that with a telescope, and
There
you're
you
like,
go.
oh, ooh.
Those flowers do smell good today.
Well, that reminds me of like in like Ready Player One in the VR system. There's actually like they call it the smell tower, and you put up in your system when your giant rig, the little tower. Depending where you are in the world, if it's coded in, your smell tower will go off and give you a scent or whatever. It was not like necessarily needed, but some people would like so whoever, depending on who made the world, they would trick you and be like, roses, they smell like shit. And so they go and something like, oh my god, this is awful.
Well, see, the thing too is like, with smell-o-vision, like it is something like taste vision. You could do because we only have so many taste sensors. So like, there's different flavors, but it's just based on these like different combinations of like your taste
all your
buds
taste.
firing.
Well, and your taste too goes with your smell.
Right. But
Because
like, how
you-
do you?
yeah.
But so like, could you do that then with like a salty smell, to be like the ocean?
Well,
like mix it with like.
because it's like
salty-
there's certain artificial things, and because I tested this at school with one of my coworkers, because he has Skittles all the time for the kids as a
Shove
treat.
up his nose.
No, what he did was, and it was actually my little cousin who told him all Skittles taste the same.
Yeah.
It's so when you plug your nose, you taste it, all of them taste the same. But the moment you open it up, you can actually smell the different things,
Yeah.
and that's when you taste the different different flavors.
But that's, I mean, I feel like there's anything though, yeah, because like if you plug your nose and eat anything, like you can't really taste it.
You think it'd have to? I think honestly, you'd have to. There'd be smell-o-vision before taste-o-vision.
You think so?
Because like now we like I'm actually thinking like jelly beans. Like they could make the jelly beans taste like earwax, and stuff like that.
Yeah, so it could just be like you're watching a show and like a character's eating ice cream, and then it's like okay, and then like a little rice strip comes out, and then you put it in your tongue and it dissolves and it tastes like ice cream.
Yeah, I was just trying to
See-
think. I was just trying to think because like with
It wouldn't be interactive.
See,
but,
I
yeah.
think though it'd be, you could have
well,
one before the other, but I think taste vision wouldn't be able to work without smell vision. You
well,
know?
it's just like, but like with the smell-o-vision, it like smell is it is a gas, and it's easier to make fluid into a gas than that. And like I always see those like it's always on like How It's Made or Unwrapped or whatever. They show the shows and they have like the giant vials of like this tastes like cotton candy, this one tastes like earwax, and so like it's already fluid.
Yeah, they did that in Good Mythical Morning. They did like milkshakes, and like they had all these different flavors, and
Oh god.
like whoever won like the taste test thing that they were doing, like got to have like the good sundae or milkshake, and then whoever lost had to have the bad milkshake. And the good milkshake wasn't even that good. It was like pizza, so it was like it sounds disgusting, but I guess it was pretty good. But the bad milkshake was barn floor.
Oh no!
So it was like they had hay, they had beef, and pork flavors that they put into the milkshake.
I thought I
and
expected
had,
That's
something like
feces.
that.
Oh.
No, I mean they're gonna make you eat poop.
No,
I
but
don't don't know if anybody's ever artificially created the flavor of poop.
Why would they make earwax? I've actually
It's because eating earwax won't kill you.
Eating a small amount of poop won't kill you. The flavor of poop.
E. coli will kill you.
The flavor of poop won't kill you.
Well,
No, I
if you think
know,
about
but,
it,
like-
if you think about it, we technically do eat animal feces if you spread it on your field and then it gets into your.
if you
like,
don't wash your vegetables and stuff.
Well, yeah.
I hope you guys like what those cookies are made of.
Gotta get rid of the kitty litter somehow.
What do you think?
Like it wouldn't be the first time I've accidentally eaten shit.
I'm
so.
absolutely eating cow shit. Just like I worked at a farm and they.
Oh yeah, they kick and it flings up and you're like, oh god.
I've never done that.
I wish I would have video of that. Just like I worked on a farm for 3 years, and my job. I didn't get the glorious job of milking. I got the job of scraping shit. That was literally my
Nice.
job.
Yep.
And then moving them because they go get milked. So like,
Yeah.
and so moving them, they just like shit on you. Because you push. I'm right behind them, pushing from behind, trying
they
not
don't
to,
move.
Yeah, trying not to get kicked. And all of a sudden, this one's like, and then if they're shitting and they sneeze, it
Ew.
flies. It flies. Brand knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, I do. I do. Yeah, last night I was actually doing chores.
Nice.
And
Did you shit on?
no, I didn't. We have two. So we have a couple of beef cattle,
Yes.
and
Delicious.
they had little babies.
More delicious.
So some calves, and two of them. So the one mother died, and the other mother is just too scrawny to feed. So we have to feed them by hand with milk replacer.
Yep.
And
It
they
smells
just
delicious.
oh yeah, it smells so sweet. You're
Does
like,
it?
I want some of this. It really. It smells like you're drinking a
Does
chocolate.
it taste good?
I've never had it.
What the hell?
It's okay.
It smells good. Oh, you've had it?
Yeah, it's actually we're talking about milk replacer. There's a store down here, the smoothie place.
Mm-hmm.
I walked by when the door was open. It smells exactly like milk replacer. Oh my god! I was like, oh my god, what the hell are they serving these people?
But those calves, they will. The one calf, just ate right away, drank
Yeah,
its
loves
milk
it.
right away. And it just slobber all over the place. And then it's like crawling all over me like, hey, you got any more?
Yeah,
like,
but-
and then it's just like licking my fingers and
Oh,
like
geez.
slobber all over the place. I'm like, "Arr." But
Cute.
yeah, but it's just like you get all those like weird tastes and stuff from that.
Oh, it's the funniest thing is you talk about milking cat or feeding calves. Like we did after they get old enough from doing the bottle feed them. I'm guessing.
Yeah, we're trying to feed them out of a pail so
Yeah,
that they wean off the nipple.
The next one is a bucket. When we have them in like little stanchions or stalls, and we'll put the bucket in front of them. Some of them like drown their face.
Oh yeah. No, I definitely had that.
And
that
they're
like, they're
so like the buckets here, they go like, just
Oh,
drink as much as
jeez.
possible.
yeah, no, I definitely.
It's so funny.
That was
It's like-
definitely. I was feeding him with my cousin, and that definitely happened. I had one bucket and he had the other. His calf did not was like looking at it and was like, and like tasted it and like okay. My calf just went and just like buried itself
Jeez.
in the thing, and then it'd come up and be like, and then it came out and it was like,
Oh no.
it came out and it was like, there's no more. And then it like started like looking at me and it must have smelt the milk replacer on my hand because it started going.
Oh yeah.
It tried to eat my hand. I'm like,
Oh, jeez.
all right, anything to keep you away from the other stuff that is
Right,
over
yeah.
there.
Oh, they're so funny.
Oh yeah, they are. They're funny.
Yeah.
But
Have you ever been to like a farm or pet cows or anything before?
Yeah, I've been on a few different farms. One of them had mini horses and a donkey. I told you that story where I got bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I still like that donkey though. But I don't really like a lot of big animals. I don't like being around them, and they just scare me.
Cows
So
are
like
really big.
horses are.
Cows.
I don't mind cows as much because they're always behind a fence. Like I've never been on the other
okay.
side really with them. But like horses, like everyone's like, oh, ride this horse or come in here and feed the horse. And I'm like, no.
Uncle had
I'm
horses.
good.
I felt that way too at first, but some are dopey. But like the two of them are very aggressive to each other, so I can't like touch those
Yeah.
two. Then he decided recently, like the last 4 years, he bought draft horses. Those really big ones you see on like Guinness or whatever. Or not Guinness, Draft
Budweiser.
Budweiser, that's what I'm thinking of. Those horses, and those are huge. And like their backs are as tall as I am. I was like, okay, good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good horse.
Yeah, and I know they're like a lot of people say they're extremely compassionate animals and they use in therapy and all kinds of stuff. But it's just like I don't know. I don't like being around things that can kill me.
Chicks take horses, dude.
Yeah,
So I got my like first three
Cattle,
girlfriends.
Yeah. Renee likes horses.
But like, I had one bad incident. Like you have to like you put it, like the food on the palm of your hand and eat like this. Well, she decided to do that. And hold it like this. Like no, and it bit and I caught her fingers. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it sucks.
dummy.
Cattle are something else.
That are annoying.
Like, have you seen that video of that dairy place?
Which one?
Dairy farm? It's like a factory farm. I don't know.
There's a lot of them.
Where they beat the crap out of the animals.
Oh.
It's just really stupid.
Yeah, I was
but
actually gonna bring that up because I was like, there was like a thing that was going around for a while where they, like it recently.
It's like
where
Fair
it's
Oaks
like,
Dairy or something
yeah,
like
where they're
that.
just really bad to the animals, but it's like,
Mhm.
well, then like a lot of people are hopping on like this, boycott everything, but it's like there are actually a lot of farms that are very
The
good
family
to their
farm.
animals.
You go to
yeah.
family farms because as I was feeding the calves last night. I'm like, I'm sitting there, I'm
Yeah.
petting the calf.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm not beating
Like,
the crap
the-
out
the
of it. I'm
most-
like, okay.
The most I've done is like slapping them, but slapping a big animal is like me
Yeah.
going like this to you.
Yeah.
They barely
And
even
so like
feel
it's like
it.
I'll be like, come on, let's go.
Yeah.
Like that harder because
Yeah.
they're big, and so like they move, but I wouldn't do anything. Like I've seen those videos. They have a pitchfork. They have like the not the little zapper. I can't think what it's called.
Remember one video
Well, I mean,
was
people-
popular,
yeah.
cattle prod. By the
Cattle
way.
prod.
Yeah,
Cattle
there was a
prod.
really popular video for a while because there was a cow and everyone was freaking out because this guy had a backhoe and he had like some sort of rig set up where it was like picking up the hind legs of
Yeah,
the cow.
because if they split,
But
they
it
can
was-
break their leg.
Yeah, but like the cow was like something was wrong with the cow and like if he didn't try and move that cow, it was gonna die. And so like the whole backstory behind it was like he was actually trying to help the cow by holding its back up so it could walk with its front legs because
Yeah.
something was wrong with its back legs.
Well, I know there's times where we've taken like a cow that's down, and we've taken a skid loader and lifted it up
Yeah.
because it can't move anywhere and it's got to get out of the way, otherwise it's gonna get
Stepped
stomped
on.
on.
Yeah, so like that back piece that holds between legs, that bone breaks. There's no way of healing it really, other than
Yeah,
it
well,
being super
yeah.
expensive. So you just have to put the cow down, and that's like
Yeah.
$3,000, poof, gone, or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
You
I don't know.
You make into food though.
Yeah, but they can be much more profitable with milk.
Yeah, but I mean,
Or if it's not big enough, then you're not getting as much.
Yeah, so I think
not as much
And
meat
so-
out of it, and you're not getting
yeah,
paid
and
enough.
so I've absolutely we if we can get them up to the spot, we have like we had a sick pen area where the cows, if they were sick, not doing so well, we keep them in there, and the top of the thing we'd have like a small crane. It was just like a bar that rotated around so we can pick them up.
Yeah.
You just have to ratchet their butt end up because they wouldn't get up. But I think the reason you grab them there is because that's the easiest spot.
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, and if you look at most family farms, most people are very like caring of their animals.
That's their
because
money.
it's their livelihood, and if they're beating the crap out of them, they're not gonna get anything out of it. So you got to be, and you get frustrated and you yell at the animal because it's a frustrating time because it's an animal and has its mind of its own, but you're trying to get it into a place that you want to like give it shots or that was always the most frustrating part is fence it in and
it's like cows are like taking care of like toddlers or like in there like
toddlers who don't understand directions,
and they're like 1,200 pounds.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I guess the people that don't take care of their farms, there's the ones that are like really big and they have like 1,000 cattle they have to deal with.
Yeah, the commercial farms.
They're really huge in this morning.
How much time do we have left?
I don't know. We're at 49 minutes. We started at 4:30. You said.
Yeah. So we were.
Or 3:30. Excuse me.
Yeah. So.
Or just over an hour.
Okay.
You have stuff to talk about? You want to talk about farms?
I like farms, but yeah, we should probably Renee and I probably should.
Oh, that's fine.
Soon, so.
All right.
Yeah. No. We can do it.
Thank you guys for joining me.
As always. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you much.
Thank you for coming back, Cody. We miss you.
Yes, I'm finally back in Minnesota. For good, maybe.
Maybe.
For good, maybe. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. As always, Hottest Podcast has a little bit of everything, and it's always good. I don't have an outro. It didn't stop, no.